This is Changeling the Podcast.
Welcome to Changeling the Podcast. Come for the glamour, stay for the vibes. I'm your host, Josh, and with us is our other host, Pooka. Say hi, Pooka.
Beep boop beep.
What are we talking about today, Pooka?
We're just doing a little bit of a mini-so to talk about some artistic gewgaws that you as a storyteller might want to make use of for your Changeling game, namely screens.
The Storyteller screen.
Yay! I'll admit, I basically never use a storyteller screen. Like, even when gaming live, I just kind of,
I use it in person because I've had multiple player characters say that they want me to fudge the dice more and they prefer that I fudge.
Yeah.
I also use it to hide notes sometimes if it's a hiding note kind of thing.
Notes are easy for me because I write very tiny, and I just
I do have terrible handwriting, so.
Oh, all right.
But let's talk about this. So this has the one side that the players would see. It's a three. If you've never seen a Storyteller screen before, it's like a book cover with three parts instead of two.
Yeah.
And it has all the core kiths from the C20 book with their little symbols.
Well, the C21 does, at least.
C20 does, yes.
That's it.
And there's other ones too, yes.
Yeah.
That I do not have.
I'm sitting here with the first and second edition ones as well. I can give a brief narrative account. The first edition, I think all of them have... Actually, no, the second edition does not have all of the kiths. The first edition one, I think, does, because you see the Slua, you see the Pooka, and it's at, some kind of bar nightclub thing. Half of it is in full color and shows the Feymine, and the other half is sort of black and white and shows the mortal side, which I kind of dig. The art is by Brian LeBlanc, and on the back we have, let's see, we've got combat summary chart, experience chart, healing times, experience points, firefight complications, melee weapons table, brawling chart, armor, health, injury, mists chart, firearms chart, feats of strength, dodging, ravaging, reverie, performances, and warning signs checklist for Bedlam. Comprehensive.
Got an interesting thing about degrees of success where it's like, I think I must have a very small die pool for making pasta, but it's difficulty 3, boiling pasta with instructions. I'm like, I don't know if I get better than complete on that ever. So never had exceptional or phenomenal.
Yeah, I should point out that was the first edition's backside that I just rattled off. C21 has a much different set.
Oh, sorry, yes.
So then the second edition screen is... This, I think, has my favorite art because it's by Rebecca Guay, and it's just like this pastoral scene of she and satyrs courting and frolicking and all that. Birds are involved. Mostly the same information. I think the only differences are there's the nightmares chart, talks about musing thresholds, there's a cantrip casting chart. Yeah, really it's the cantrip stuff that's changed, and the font is much smaller, which is a little frustrating. Melee weapons. I guess it kind of shows you, though, in each edition what the creators feel like is the most important information for a storyteller to have right at their fingertips. It's rarely stuff that I would choose, though.
Yeah. Well, the C21.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that.
Let's get to it.
Yep. So this has, cantrip difficulty, cantrip step-by-step, basic difficulty and degrees of success, lots of bunk examples, experience points and freebie points. Why do you need freebie points cost on it? Anyway, close combat maneuvers if you really need to know how much what to do for a tendon slice.
I do.
And then the mists and healing times. Mists and healing times kind of makes sense. Maybe. Yeah, freebie points, experience cost, I'm okay with stopping play to figure out how much experience points cost. The bunk I like. The steps of doing it. Banality triggers misses some of them. You can get banality from being around banal people. Not mentioned here. So
I'm a little sad that the feats of strength aren't here. I mean, I like those.
But I like the big bunk list.
Yeah. There is no weapon table of any kind. So in terms of how much damage your gun does or your bat does, it doesn't say.
You used to write it down with your
Yeah.
with your gun and your bat on your sheet, I find.
It is also only 3 panels on the C21, and the first and second
Yeah.
edition are both 4 panels.
Mm.
But man,
Okay.
the quality of this C20 screen, like physical quality,
Mm-hmm.
you could stand this thing on anything. You could stand this on a cat.
Yep.
Note that we here at Changeling, the podcast, do not endorse trying to stand your Storyteller screen on a cat.
I find, well, the cat's not going to stay there. And it's probably just after it tried to roll your dice pool. So,
Oh, do you know what I just realized?
what?
The art for the C20 screen, you see the sort of sepia tone background image?
Yeah.
That's the second edition screen image. That's a nice touch.
Hmm.
Like all those cavorting fae in the background. That's what the last one had, but in full color. So yeah.
Yep.
If you designed your own Storyteller screen, and I think there are some on the Storyteller's Vault, maybe not for Changeling, but it does seem like the kind of thing people like to make bespoke. What would you include on yours?
Okay, so I would have the cantrip and step by step, the banality triggers, yeah. Cantrip difficulty stuff. All the cantrip bunky stuff, yeah. I think I'd have like more like more things, like little quick breakdowns from chapter 6 of the core book. Like the feats that you could do.
The glamour systems.
I'd have more of that, I think. Yeah, anything that would... I'd only put down things where it would be a break in the action to the flow to stop and look up. So, like, I definitely would not... Bonus points do not need to be there.
Yeah.
But even though they're important to have. But yeah, anything like... I wouldn't have all the weapons and the maneuvers, maybe. But I'd have more non-combat-y things that are still like... How does this work?
Yeah.
Social feats and stuff.
Things likely to come up in the game as well.
Yep. Likely to come up in the game. Like, how does it actually work? So maybe some sort of quick break. I think they just grabbed charts from things that already had charts.
Yes.
But maybe I'd make new charts.
Even the cantrip breakdown, I think. Isn't that...
Yeah.
I think that's like in a sidebar somewhere.
Yeah. Things like maybe a little chart for like fast talk and a little chart for courtly etiquette or whatever. I'm just looking through the core book. Things like that. Maybe not dream interpretation, but, search, track.
I almost wonder if like another way to do this would be something like, I don't want to bring back bunk cards, but if you had little individual cards and then the screen just had like 20 little pouches or something that you could slot them in, and it's like, okay, I know that for this game I'm going to need to know these systems at my fingertips.
I would break that in by session 2.
Perhaps.
But yeah.
Maybe we can have some kind of discussion on the Discord about it.
Yes. And you can reach our Discord at discord.me/.
Oh, this is a mini-sode. Who cares? The usual links will be in the usual show notes.
Dream strong. Okay.
I do also want to say, though, I mean, the C20 screen, I know that I said before that Cup of Dreams was technically the last book, or last whatever you want to call it, for C20. Yeah. The Storyteller screen actually came out absolute last, I believe, February 2020.
Oh.
So I think this was like the last piece of C20 produced.
But they put the copyright 2017.
Well, of course. The best laid plans. So yeah, I mean, even though I don't use them much, I enjoy them as works of art, and they're great.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
So
thus endeth the mini-sode.
Bye-bye.
Laters.